Welcome back to another great week, everybody. We have some new words to look at this week, and I want you to pay really close attention as we discuss these words and take some notes because we only have one root this week, and I think that you'll find that a lot of the words really sound very similar to each other. As we're learning some really high-level words, these words are quite nuanced. A word which means that there's not a lot of difference between the words, but when we use them correctly, it really shows something very meaningful about our understanding of the words, as well as an idea that we're trying to convey. If we're using words that are more specific to certain situations, it helps provide more specific meaning. So if we look at the words in a very general sense, they almost sound the same, but they mean slightly different things. There's shades of meaning in the way that these words are used that really can show a little bit more difference if we pay close attention. So one thing that makes our words a little more interesting or nuanced is that we have 4 different prefixes that we're working with this week. Every single one of our words this week has a prefix. So these meanings are going to be very important to how we use these words. We haven't had this prefix before, circum, but you probably are familiar with the word circumference. So when we measure the circumference of a circle, we're measuring the distance around the circle. Now, I know there's not a whole lot of room there for you to write. It's a lot easier for me to type this word in this space, but do your best to write the word circumference in that space. That's going to help us to remember that the prefix circum means around. Another prefix we have is the prefix de, which means away or down. And you can probably think of a few words that have this prefix. A word I'm thinking of is the word decrease. If you have a decrease in something, the amount of that you have has gone down. So de means down. Again, we have the prefixes in and re. We've had those before. In, not, as in action. If there is inaction, that means people are not being active. And re is one that we know we have a lot. I think you have a lot of familiarity with that prefix re. It's probably not as new to you as the prefix circum. Our root this week is flect or flex. It means to bend. And you'll see all of our words have something to do with bending, either physical things, tangible things that we can touch, or maybe a sound or something that you see can bend. So we'll talk a little bit more about how this root is used in these words. And finally, our suffixes we've had before. We have the suffix ible, just like in the word edible. So that means something is able to be eaten. That's an adjective. And the suffix ion, like creation, which is a noun. Whenever you see ion, you can be certain that you're working with a word that is a noun. Next, I'd like you to take a look at our words that we're focusing on this week. Go ahead and circle the roots and underline the prefixes and the suffixes. When you finish, your words should look something like this. Now that we have all of our roots circled and you can see all of our prefixes and our suffixes, let's use our suffixes here as clues to help us know which part of speech each one of these words is. I'm going to help you with a couple because 2 of our words here don't have any suffix, so you don't really have that clue to help you. Circumflex, it is an adjective. So we're going to be describing things as being circumflex. And the word reflex, in many cases, you can use this word as a noun. When I was scared that the ball was going to hit my head, I drew my head back in a reflex. So we know that this word can be used as a noun, but this week on this page, it's going to be defined and used as an adjective. With this word reflex, when you use it in your own sentence, you can use it as an adjective or a noun. I don't care how you use it, but just make sure you label it correctly according to how you have used the word. Okay, now I'd like you to take a look at these remaining words and see if you can identify their parts of speech. Okay, let's go check your answers and see how you did. Reflection ends with ION, like the word creation. It's a noun. Deflection ends the same way, as does inflection. So both deflection and inflection are nouns. Finally, inflexible ends with IBLE, like our adjective edible. That's an adjective. All right, friends, make sure that you've recorded everything that we've done here today. It will help you as we continue on our work this week, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.